Amorim breaks silence on Sir Jim Ratcliffe, claiming 5 Manchester United players are overpaid or not good enough. Sir Jim Ratcliffe was scathing in his analysis of 5 Man United players in an interview with the BBC earlier this week. Rúben Amorim has challenged Manchester United's players to prove co-owner Sir Jim Ratcliffe wrong after he said some were overpriced or not good enough. Ratcliffe told the BBC this week that Casemiro, Onana, Rasmus Højlund, Antony and Jadon Sancho are not good enough, and some probably are overpaid. Casemiro and Antony arrived at United within a week of each other towards the end of the 2022 summer transfer window. United paid Real Madrid £60 million, rising to £70 million, for Casemiro and made him their highest earner on more than £300,000 a week. Antony joined from Ajax for a fee rising to £86.3 million, and his salary was quintupled to around £200,000 a week. Onana and Højlund joined the following year for £47.2 million and £64 million, rising to £72 million respectively. Sancho cost £72.9 million in 2021. Sancho and Antony have already been jettisoned by United and are only on loan at Chelsea and Real Betis. Onana, Casemiro and Højlund could all start in Thursday's Europa League round of 16 second leg against Real Sociedad at Old Trafford. I think, if we are being honest in this moment, everybody, me, all the players, we are underperforming this season, Amorim said. So we can always change that, and I include myself in that part of the underperforming. You are talking about players like Casemiro, for example, that won everything, and we know these kind of players can play so much better. That is the focus. He was honest on that. The focus is to change his mind and change all the people's minds. If you are a top player playing in this club, even me, a lot of people say I am not good enough for the club. My feeling is that you can change that with results. In training, I feel that they want this really bad, especially for tomorrow. Ratcliffe gushed about Amorim during his media rounds this week, claiming the Portuguese has done a great job, even though United are 14th in the Premier League and set to suffer their lowest finish since they were relegated in 1974. United could salvage their season by triumphing in the Europa League, which would secure qualification for the Champions League. Ratcliffe half-joked that, "I tell him where it's going wrong, and he tells me to fuck off." Amorim said his relationship with Ratcliffe has been really good since day one. He added, "I think we are really blunt and honest with each other. He's a little bit of a character, we are quite similar in that. I always felt the support of the board and especially Sir Jim. I cannot tell you the conversations, but they are simple conversations, clear conversations, and honest conversations." Amorim added that none of the players had complained to him about Ratcliffe's comments. "No, nothing. I didn't feel nothing. I really enjoyed the training today." Meanwhile, in other news, Andre Onana makes decision on Manchester United future. Andre Onana joined Manchester United for £47.2 million from Inter Milan, but has had a turbulent 2 seasons in the Premier League. Andre Onana is intent on staying at Manchester United next season, despite his struggling form. United head coach Rúben Amorim wants to sign a new goalkeeper in the summer, but Onana considers United to be the only club he wishes to play for. Onana, 28, has played 86 times for United and is under contract to the club until 2028, but his errors in recent months have brought his future into question. United are expected to recruit a new keeper for Amorim's first full campaign, as Tom Heaton is likely to retire when his contract expires in June. Number 2, goalie and Turkey international Altay. Bayındir's future could lie elsewhere should he seek more playing time before the 2026 World Cup. The Africa Cup of Nations is also staged in December and January in 2025-26, with an earlier start date of December 18th, which could deprive United of Cameroon international Onana for their festive fixture schedule. Onana has made 3 errors leading to goals in the Premier League, in the defeats to Nottingham Forest, Wolves and Brighton, and he was deemed culpable for both of Ipswich Town's goals against United last week. Onana is 16th for save percentage out of 22 Premier League goalkeepers. The former Ajax and Inter Milan goalkeeper made impressive stops from Fulham playmaker Emile Smith-Rowe during the FA Cup fifth-round loss, but he also irked the crowd with his slow restarts at goal kicks. United signed Onana from Inter Milan in a £47.2 million deal in July 2023 to reunite him with his former Ajax coach Erik ten Hag. If the club wished to sell Onana, they would require a fee of £28.32 million, the remaining cost of his fee spread over the remaining 3 years of his contract, to avoid a loss under the Premier League's profitability and sustainability rules. Another quirk is United have not outright sold a number one goalkeeper since Alex Stepney's 12 years at the club came to an end in 1978. Onana recently switched to the Lyon Sports Group agency, but sources say that was a personal move and not made with the intention of seeking a transfer. Amorim has publicly defended Onana and felt it was harsh to pin Jadon Philogene equaliser for Ipswich on the goalkeeper. He did some great saves that saved our team, and sometimes he has some problems, but that is normal, Amorim said on Friday. And if you look for our team, you can find a lot of players with that issue. I think we are not performing so well as a team, and sometimes players have a problem. People talk about the second goal from Ipswich. He is waiting for the touch of Delap. That is really clear. And then the ball continues to the goal, so that can happen. We just have to support Andre and forget about the past and prepare for the future. Meanwhile, in other news, Rúben Amorim is facing his Erik ten Hag Cristiano Ronaldo moment at Manchester United. Garnacho hit the headlines after storming down the tunnel in the win against Ipswich. Alejandro Garnacho stormed down the tunnel after being substituted before half-time against Ipswich last night. The Argentine international was sacrificed for Noussair Mazraoui on the 45th minute, as Rúben Amorim wanted to bring on a defensive option after Patrick Dorgu's red card. United fans will know that this is not the first time one of their attacking stars has stormed down the tunnel in a strop before the full-time whistle. Cristiano Ronaldo infamously left Old Trafford early after Erik ten Hag refused to bring him on against Tottenham 2 seasons ago. Rúben Amorim is now facing his own Erik ten Hag Cristiano Ronaldo moment with his 20-year-old star. Can he take a leaf out of the former United manager's book when dealing with Garnacho? Ronaldo only appeared 4 more times for United after his touchline tantrum. The all-time great had a fractious relationship from the off with ten Hag, but it was the game against Spurs where things first boiled over publicly. The Dutchman sanctioned Ronaldo by dropping him for the next United game away at Chelsea. Amorim, who has previously left players including Garnacho out of his squad due to discipline issues, could employ a similar tactic to his predecessor. "Was cold and wet, maybe," Amorim said when asked about Garnacho's actions. "The thinking was that we played more in 5-3-1. I know that's a risk because we take the only player now that has 1-against-1 and pace. What I am saying is, I'm going to talk with Garnacho about that. I will talk about that if you want in the next press conference." Ten Hag seemingly ruled the United dressing room with an iron fist. Dropping Ronaldo after his incident was the first instances of him stamping down his authority on his squad. Even though Ronaldo did play for Ten Hag again, and even captained the side in his last appearance for the club in a 3-1 loss at Villa Park, the relationship between the two had broken down after the Tottenham game. Garnacho was dropped against Manchester City, along with Marcus Rashford in December, and was linked with a move to Chelsea last Moncht, although his desire was to remain at Old Trafford. It would not be a surprise if Amorim was to leave Garnacho out of his starting line-up for Sunday's FA Cup tie against Fulham, or potentially even the squad entirely. Meanwhile, in other news, it's not their game. Rio Ferdinand names 4 Man United stars who don't suit Rúben Amorim. Manchester United legend Rio Ferdinand has insisted that Joshua Zirkzee, Harry Maguire, Rasmus Højlund and Matthijs de Ligt are not dynamic or athletic enough to slot into Rúben Amorim's preferred style of play. Ferdinand spoke on TNT Sports after United beat Ipswich Town 3-2 at Old Trafford on Wednesday evening. The Red Devils started off terribly, with Patrick Dorgu and Andre Onana getting involved in a calamitous mix-up which allowed Jadon Philogene to tap into an open goal. Amorim's men responded well, restoring parity as Sam Morsy turned in an excellent free-kick delivery from Bruno Fernandes. United would go on to take the lead courtesy of De Ligt, who scored from close range. The game threatened to be turned sour for United after Dorgu was given his marching orders for a reckless tackle on Omari Hutchinson, only for Philogene to equalise just moments afterwards. However, Maguire came up with the goods almost immediately after the break, heading in home Fernandes's corner. Despite being pleased with the result, Ferdinand admitted that the fans are yet to see what they expected when Amorim replaced Erik ten Hag in November last year. Ferdinand said on TNT Sports, "I think if we're being brutally honest, there hasn't been the progress that we all anticipated. Where he came from, how successful he had been, and the silverware he brought to Sporting, the anticipation of him coming was like, wow, what an opportunity we've got now with this young manager, and it hasn't transferred here. I sat with him the other day and you can see there's a desire, there's a work ethic behind the scenes, and he's nipping at everything to try and get this right and turn it around, but things haven't been smooth for him, and he hasn't managed to get it to where he wants to at this point in time." Ferdinand added, "I think he needs to just get to the end of the season, really regroup, and then start building again, building the team and coaching the team, because right now they've been stuttering along, and that's probably being polite. I watched Sporting a few times, in Europe especially. They were an athletic, dynamic team. That was one of the staples of that team, the hallmarks of that good team that was winning things." He continued, "This team aren't a mobile, dynamic team. If you look through the heartbeat of this team, they have other qualities, but being physical, having the ability to overrun teams physically, they don't have that capacity." Asked whether Xerxes is the type of player that suits Amorim, Ferdinand answered, "Oh, De Ligt, Maguire, Højlund, it's not their game. So I think he needs to find those type of players with the capabilities of carrying out not only tactically what he wants, but the physicality is equally important." During the match, Ferdinand and Robbie Savage also tore into Onana, blaming him for not communicating with Dorgu in the build-up to Philogene's first strike. Savage said on commentary via Daily Mail, "Wow, Dorgu has tracked the run, and the communication between Onana and Dorgu must be non-existent. Credit to Jadon Philogene, the desire, he's onside. But I've got no idea why Onana is running out to that position. Dorgu has got it under control. No problem at all. He shouldn't come there, Onana. I might be completely wrong, but stay. The defender has got it under control, so stay in your 6-yard box. Credit to Philogene. What a start from Ipswich." Savage went on, "The defender has got it under control. I don't think there is a reason why Onana comes out there. You should be talking, lay it back to him on his right foot, and then he can clear it. I don't know why he's come. The defender is in control. Onana, stay in your goal." Ferdinand was equally critical, further stating, "A terrible start. I don't think Dorgu, at any moment, looks up to see where Onana is. Onana doesn't need to come in. The fullback is in complete control, and he can just hold his ground and let him play it back to him. But Dorgu doesn't look, the awareness isn't there, and it's pounced on. Ipswich took a deserved lead for pouncing on that lack of communication." The result saw United climb up just 1 point to 14th place in the Premier League table. The Reds are back in action on Sunday when they welcome Fulham to Old Trafford in the 5th round of the FA Cup. Kickoff is at 16:30 GMT. Subscribe for more inside updates.